Yeah, good morning, my dear children.
Morning, ma'am.
Yeah. So, in previous class, we discussed about the human rights. I explained very clearly what are the rights. What is the right? What is the meaning of a right? Can any one of you tell me?
Right mean we have to select. We have to take our own decision. Is the right?
Yeah. And yeah, you have every right as a person. You are having a right to take a decision on your own, and at the same time, as a human being, you have a right to express your views and ideas or opinion or whatever you call. Okay, so we discussed about the human rights, and these rights are designed irrespective of caste, creed, gender. Gender means already I explained.
Yeah.
We should not show any kind of difference between the male and female. Everyone should be treated equally, and these are all the rights are placed and guaranteed in the Constitution of India, and these rights are called as fundamental rights. And as I said, fundamental rights are accepted by even the other nations of the world, and it was identified or codified by what? Which organization? Which
Or
organization? It means you did not read the lesson, did not revise the lesson. Yeah, no
USO.
problem. I'll tell you. So, as I said in the previous class, these fundamental rights are accepted by the
USO.
other nations of the world, and it was identified and codified by UNO. What is the full form of UNO? Did you remember this abbreviation right now?
United Nations Organization.
Very good. United Nations of Organization. United Nations of Organization. So all those fundamental rights are accepted and was identified and codified by United Nations Organization. And after the codification by United Nations Organization, this took place in Universal Democratic Universal Universal Democratic of Human Rights. Okay, so this was placed in Universal Democratic of Human Rights. Now let us know what is the meaning of fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights are designed by the Constitution of India. So if any government, each and every government should abide by the rules and regulations which was framed by the Constitution of India. Abide means what? So we are talking about fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights are, few rights are guaranteed in the Constitution of India which are so important, and these rights are called as fundamental rights, as we discussed in earlier class, right? And these fundamental rights are placed in the part 3 of the Constitution. We are talking about which rights? We are talking about which rights? Fundamental rights. What are those?
Fundamental rights.
Fundamental rights. So these fundamental rights are placed in part 3 of the Constitution. Where it was placed?
Part 3 of the Constitution.
Right, part 3 of the Constitution. So according to this fundamental rights, which was placed in the part 3 of the Constitution, according to this, if any government is trying to harm the people, those who are living in the society, or else if any person is violated by the government, violated means what? As I said, if any government is trying to suppress the people in the society, or if any government is treating any people in a cruel manner, or else if they are trying to harm the people, then such particular person or each and every person is having a right to go against the government and to file the case directly into High Court or Supreme Court, not even in the local court. So please listen carefully, my dear children. We are talking about fundamental rights. And these fundamental rights are placed in the which part of the Constitution? Part
Part 3 of the Constitution.
Part 3 of the Constitution. These fundamental rights are placed. According to the Constitution of India, if any person is, if any government is trying to harm the people's fundamental rights, that particular person, each and every person is having a right to file a case against directly either in the High Court or in the Supreme Court. Okay, so court means what? I think you are well aware about High Court and Supreme Court.
Yes.
Okay, you are enough mature to know the difference, to know the meaning of court, where cases will take place, where petition will take place, where the criminals will be punishable. Okay, so that such kind of punishments are declared by the Court of India, either High Court or local court or whatever it is. So what I said, if any government is trying to violate any people or any people's their fundamental rights here, such person is having each and every right to file a case against directly into either in High Court or in Supreme Court. Because when Constitution of India designed any policies or any schemes, being as a government, they have to protect the rights of the people. They should be like, they should be like a shield to the people, where they can feel convenient to live in the society but not to get afraid with the government. So that's the reason the Constitution clearly mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution, if any government is trying to suppress the people, if any government is trying to harm the people, that particular person is having a right to go directly either to the High Court or to the Supreme Court. So here the Supreme Court or High Court is having every right to issue orders against the government, which is called as writ. What is it? Writ. W-R-I-T, writ. Writ means nothing but, as I said, if any government is trying to disturb any person's fundamental rights, that person is having right to file a case against that government directly into which court? High Court or Supreme Court. Not even the local court. Local court is nothing but district court will be there.
Okay.
Directly no one case will go to the Supreme Court. Suppose take for example, let us take our school example only. If any student among one of you is facing any problem with any teacher, okay, so after going back to home, you will discuss with your parents. Your father or mother will come directly to the school. Okay, first before going directly to the principal, they'll discuss with the teacher.
Yeah,
What is the problem? Class teacher. What is the problem? So and so teacher is disturbing my child. So what is her problem or what is his problem? If it continues, if it will continue further, definitely I am going to complain to the principal. So this will be the stage where issue can be take place, right? So in the same way, if any person is having any problem, first they'll file a case in the local court or district court. Then again from there it will go to High Court, and last Supreme Court is the last court where final judgment will issue by the Supreme Court. There will be an international court also will be there. So it's not so necessary to go till there. So Supreme Court is the final judgment of the in India. Okay. But here when any government is trying to suppress or any government is making harm to the people of the society, these people are having a right to go to directly High Court or Supreme Court. So after taking a case into consideration, Supreme Court or High Court is the only one court where they can have a right to issue an order to the government against to the government, and such kind of order will be called as what?
Writ.
Writ. It is not writ. W should be silent. Okay? It is called as writ. So that particular uh, order, issuing an order is called as writ, and Constitution of India can take any kind of action against the people, those who against the government which is trying to violate it by the Constitution of India, violate the rules which are designed by the Constitution of India. If any government is violating, such government is having, should be ready to issue an order which is issued by the High Court or Supreme Court, and that particular order is called as what? Writ. In the next class,
I have a doubt.
yeah,
What you told me about part 3 of Constitution?
yeah,
What
this
is the part 3?
there will be clauses will be there in the Constitution.
Okay.
Clauses will be there. In the Constitution of India, every laws and every policies and every rights, what all the policy schemes are designed by the Constitution of India, each and every, it is called as a separate session will be there for each and every segment. Like ours is a house, hall will be there, kitchen where we can cook, where we can sleep, bedroom, like different segments will be there in a house. In the same way, even in Constitution of India, there will be some clauses will be there where each and every point will be mentioned very clearly according to the segment wise. According to the segment wise. If any crime is there, what kind of sections should be followed? What kind of punishment should be given to that particular person? So each and every few clauses will be there which are separately mentioned in the Constitution. So these fundamental rights are placed in the part 3 of the Constitution, and this is about fundamental rights. Now in my next class, let me explain you how many fundamental rights are there and what are those, what exactly each and every fundamental right is meant for. Okay, so yesterday's lesson you did not revise after going home, but today I'm not going to leave, so you just try to revise the lesson till we complete it, and tomorrow I'll put few questions at the end of the lessons on the whole. So we are talking about which rights?
Fundamental rights.
Fundamental rights. Okay, so these fundamental rights are of 6 types. How many types?
6 types.
6 types. So I'm not going to mention these 6 types at a time. One after the other I'll explain you, because 6 rights are there, fundamental rights are there, and under each and every right there are some sub clauses also will be there. To know them is very, very important. If I'll tell all the 6 fundamental rights at one place, then you may get confused. So without any confusion, without making you to confuse, let me get into the detail one after the other, so that you will clearly understand. So as I said, we are talking about fundamental rights, and how many fundamental rights are there? 6 types. Now let us talk about the first right, that is right to equality. What it is? Right to equality. Right to equality. Equality, by taking that word only, you maybe understand what exactly the meaning of equality. Okay, it is nothing but each and every person should be treated equally without any showing difference, whether they belongs to rich people or poor people, which caste they belong to, which religion they belongs to, and which gender, whether is a boy or a girl, without taking all such kind of differences into consideration. We have to treat equal all the people equally. Okay, so that is right to equality. Under right to equality, let us know about the equality of protection of law. What it is?
Protection of
Protection of law. What is the meaning of equality of protection of law? In previous classes, might be you come across that in front of law, no one is exempted. Okay, whomever they are, whomever they are, even though he is a head of the family or head of the nation or head of the state, whomever they are, each and every person should be treated equally. Okay, just for example, like take our political leaders. Few years back, Jagan Mohan Reddy went to jail. Okay, even though he is a chief minister's son or whatever you take, political, a great personality. And even Satyam Computers, Ramalingaraju, I
Yes.
think, did you heard the name of that person or not? I don't know, but
Okay.
maybe you are young in age by that time. But nowadays, everyone, software, everywhere, software companies and software jobs are going on. So, might be you have met or come across with that person's name. Even Satyam Ramalingaraju person was also kept into the prison. So, it means maybe they are having some crores of property, crores of money, but money will not work anywhere and everywhere. Okay, you can throw the money anywhere, but it should not work out everywhere. Even though you are holding with some crores of property also, when point comes to law, all those money will not work out. Okay, recently the great KCR's daughter, Mrs. Kavita, also went to Tihar jail. Okay,
Okay.
they're having capacity to come out. There is no doubt about it that they don't have money, they don't have power, they don't have influence to come out. But even though, only to make sure that everyone is equal in front of the law. Sometimes even Prime Minister of India also should present himself in the court of law if any case were, was filed against a Prime Minister, whomever they are. Whether these equality of protection of law is nothing but the law which is made by the government, the law which is made in favor of the people, it should be protected by each and every person being a citizen of India. Being a citizen of India. So take for example police department. What is their responsibility? To protect the people, to protect the law. Okay, so they have to serve the people, they have to give some kind of guarantee, some kind of assurance to the people that you should not worry about anything. We are here to protect you people. That kind of protection should be given by the police department. In place of that, if police people, if police department is not working properly, and if they are torturing the people, if they are making harm to the people, definitely, even though sub inspector or commissioner of police also should present himself into the in front of the law. So the Prime Minister also should present himself. If he committed any mistake, if he violates the rules and regulations by the Constitution of India, definitely Prime Minister or Chief Minister or any other minister will be punishable, and they have to present themselves in the court of the law. So that is called as equality of protection of law. So they should not take any point into consideration that, yeah, Narendra Modi is a rich person, he is a Prime Minister of India, so we should not file any case against him because he is the Prime Minister, he is ruling the country. So KCR is such a big personality where he ruled continuously for 10 years Telangana. So we are not supposed to file any case against KCR. Now Revanth Reddy is the Chief Minister of Telangana. So no certain laws are made against the people that these people only should be punishable and some group of people will not be punishable. That is not at all called as law. So when point comes to protection, if any person, either whether they are a lady or a male person, everyone are punishable and everyone should present themselves in the court of the law if any such situation will comes. So they cannot deny any orders issued by the government of India or Constitution of India. Everyone should follow the rules and regulations which is framed by the Constitution of India. Suppose take for example your own class. Okay, certain timetable was framed by your class teacher or by the school. Okay, so every day you'll have maths period in second period, math subject in second period. Every day you'll have Telugu subject in the very first period. Or else your teachers are coming on their wish, whenever they want to take any subject, are they coming to your class and taking and they are going? Nothing like that. There will be a proper timetable where the teachers has to follow. So it means what? They have to follow the rules and regulations designed by the principal of the school. In the same way, if the Constitution of India, if any law, if any rights are mentioned in the Constitution, if any policies and schemes framed by the Constitution of India, whether he or she a prime minister or home minister or chief minister or any other minister, they have to follow. That's it. That's it. Nobody is exempted. No one is excused in front of the law. I am a prime minister. I have every right to commit a mistake. No one will punish. No one is having a right to punish me. They cannot be under such assumption. Okay. Even though he is a prime minister or such a big personality also, they have to be very transparent and they have to follow the rules and regulations which are mentioned very clearly in the Constitution or by the government. They have to follow. That's why the government or Constitution framed some rules and regulations or norms and conditions or policies, schemes or whatever you take. Everyone should follow. Okay, so everyone are punishable by court of law. Court of law. Everyone should present themselves unless and until if they did not commit any mistake, there is no problem. If any problem, if any mistake committed by them, definitely they are going to punish in the court of law. So that is called as equality of protection of law. Being a citizen of India, every human being's responsibility is to protect the law. Okay, so this is called as equality of protection of law. This is one of the subclause under right to equality. So we discussed about what I said. Fundamental rights are 6 types. Under 6 types, one of the fundamental right is called as right to equality, and under right to equality, we discussed about the equality of protection of law. What is that and how it was designed. The next point is social equality. So in the next class, the second point which comes under right to equality is social equality. So let us talk about in the next class what is social equality. Every right motto and content is same, but only a few different point will be mentioned in each and every right. So in the next class, let me discuss about social equality. So my dear children, it is my kind advice to each and everyone, whenever we will complete any session, any topic in the class, please, it's a kind request to all of you, after going back home, please revise the total lesson what we completed till date and come back with the full revision and keep all the points in your mind. Got it? Thank you.